Imagine the horror of discovering your child missing, replaced by a cryptic note demanding ransom. It was on this chilling night of December 26, 1996, that the Ramsey household was thrust into a terrifying ordeal. Patsy Ramsey, in the early hours, stumbled upon a lengthy and peculiar ransom note. This note, sprawling over 2.5 pages, declared their 6-year-old daughter, JonBenét, kidnapped, with a specific demand of $118,000 for her safe return. The air was thick with disbelief and fear as the family grappled with the reality of the situation. The house, once filled with the joyful noises of holiday celebrations, now echoed with the silent tension and the heavy heartbeats of its occupants. The discovery of this note was not just a moment of shock, but a pivot into a labyrinth of mystery and despair that would captivate the nation for decades. But this was only the beginning of the Ramsey family's nightmare. Not just any ransom note, but a lengthy manuscript filled with peculiar demands. This was what Patsy Ramsey encountered in the early hours of December 26, 1996, as she descended the stairs of her Boulder, Colorado home. Tucked on a staircase, the note sprawled across 2.5 pages was not only alarming due to its content, but also due to its verbosity and the specific sum it demanded: $118,000. The amount itself was curiously precise, not rounded to the nearest 10,000, but exact, mirroring John Ramsey's recent bonus, which sparked immediate suspicion. Why would a supposed kidnapper request an amount so intimately tied to the family's financial details? This coincidence was too pointed to overlook, suggesting a familiarity with the Ramseys' finances that could not be accidental. The language of the note further complicated the picture. Terms like beheaded, used in the threat if the police were contacted, were not only gruesomely graphic but also theatrically over the top. The note instructed John Ramsey to bring an adequate-sized attaché to the bank, a phrase that seemed lifted straight from a bad crime novel. Furthermore, the author warned against contacting stray dogs and spoke of a foreign faction, phrases that seemed to serve no other purpose than to mystify and mislead. These elements collectively painted a ransom note that read more like a script than a genuine kidnapper's demands. The theatricality and detailed instructions given, including the specific time to collect the money and the warning to be arrested, suggested an intimate staging rather than a random act of crime. It was as though the author knew the investigative steps that would follow and planned each word to create maximum confusion and distress. Such detailed demands in a ransom note were unprecedented, leading many to question its authenticity. The note did not just demand a ransom, it seemed to play a role, setting the stage for a tragic discovery that would only lead to more questions than answers. Every stroke of the pen carried potential clues to the writer's identity. When analyzing the ransom note found in the Ramsey household, handwriting experts were thrust into a web of complexity. The note, written with a pen found in the Ramsey home and on a notepad also belonging to the family, suggested an intimate connection to the crime scene. Forensic analysts meticulously compared the handwriting in the note to samples provided by John and Patsy Ramsey. While John was quickly excluded as the potential author, the scrutiny intensified around Patsy. Her handwriting bore certain similarities to the note, but the evidence was not conclusive. Experts noted that the writing seemed deliberately altered, with a mix of cursive and print that suggested the writer might have been trying to disguise their natural handwriting style. The analysis wasn't just about matching letters and slants. The emotional tone of the handwriting, its pressure points, and the spacing of words were all dissected. These elements can reveal psychological states, suggesting whether the writer was calm or under stress, hurried or deliberate. However, controversy soon clouded the forensic findings. Some experts staunchly believed there was a match with Patsy's handwriting, while others argued the evidence was far too weak for a definitive conclusion. This split in expert opinion added layers of doubt and debate to an already perplexing case. Yet the handwriting left more questions than answers, deepening the mystery. Strangely, the note echoed lines straight out of Hollywood thrillers. Picture this: a ransom note not just demanding a sum, but weaving a narrative so familiar yet so out of place. It's like a script torn from the pages of a blockbuster movie, lines that you might hear from the lips of a seasoned actor rather than a supposed kidnapper. The ransom note in question pulled phrases from films and books that have nestled into the collective consciousness of pop culture. Phrases like, "Listen carefully," and "Speak to anyone and she dies," have been echoed in countless thrillers, creating an eerie resonance for anyone reading the note. This mimicry raises questions. Was the author a movie buff? Or was it a deliberate ploy to throw off the investigation by cloaking their identity behind well-known dialogues? Let's delve deeper. By using such recognizable phrases, the author might have been attempting to create a sense of urgency and drama found in cinema. This tactic could have been intended to instill fear and compliance in the Ramseys, making the situation feel like a high-stakes thriller. However, it also opens up the possibility that the note was nothing more than a diversion, a fictional piece designed to lead investigators on a wild goose chase. What does this tell us about the author? Their familiarity with such tropes suggests a premeditation and an understanding of how deeply certain narratives can unsettle the mind. Was the real intent to mislead, to confuse, or simply to terrify? This unsettling blend of reality and fiction blurred the lines in an already complex case. As the case unfolded, theories about the note's origin proliferated. Whispers and speculations filled the air, painting a complex tapestry of potential culprits and motives. The ransom note, both verbose and peculiar, became the foundation for numerous theories that tried to unravel its mysteries. One prominent theory suggested that the note was an elaborate misdirection, crafted not by a kidnapper but someone within the home. This idea stemmed from the fact that the ransom amount was the exact value of John Ramsey's recent bonus, a detail not widely known outside the immediate family. The specificity of this figure led some to believe that the note was designed to throw investigators off the scent, pointing them toward an external perpetrator. Conversely, there were those who believed the note was genuine, written by an intruder with intimate knowledge of the family's finances. This camp argued that the note's length and the theatrical language were tactics to instill fear and confusion, ensuring compliance from the Ramsey family while the kidnapper made their escape. The handwriting analysis added fuel to the fire of controversy. Some experts felt certain similarities between Patsy Ramsey's handwriting and the note could not be ignored. However, the analysis was never conclusive, and no charges were filed based on this evidence alone. This ambiguity only served to deepen public suspicion and divide opinion further. Public discourse was equally fractured. In coffee shops, online forums, and news outlets, people debated vigorously. Was it a disturbed family member, a skilled intruder, or even a known acquaintance with a sinister motive? Each possibility seemed as plausible as it was perplexing. Adding to the complexity were the psychological profiles proposed by criminal experts. Some suggested that the note's dramatic flair indicated a deeply narcissistic personality, someone reveling in the chaos created by their actions. Each theory brought its own set of believers and skeptics, but none could conclusively solve the puzzle. Decades later, the shadow of the ransom note still looms large over the case. The ransom note found in the Ramsey household didn't just serve as a key piece of evidence. It became a cultural artifact, endlessly dissected by both the media and the public. From its peculiar wording to its dramatic demands, the note has sparked countless debates and theories about who could have written it and why. The note's impact on the investigation cannot be overstated. Initially, it steered detectives towards a kidnapping scenario. But as the hours ticked by and the tragic discovery of JonBenét's body was made, the narrative quickly shifted. The focus turned to the family, with suspicion cast upon the Ramseys due to the note's alleged similarities to Patsy Ramsey's handwriting and the peculiar amount of the ransom, which matched John Ramsey's recent bonus. Over the years, the ransom note has been reanalyzed through various lenses: linguistic, psychological, and forensic. Each analysis brought its own insights but also its own set of questions. The note, often described as overly theatrical and strangely specific, seemed to some like a red herring, intended to mislead and manipulate the investigation. For the Ramsey family, the note and the suspicion it engendered created a cloud of stigma that has never fully dissipated. They found themselves under a microscope, their every action scrutinized, their private grief turned into a public spectacle. The burden of the unresolved case and the public's fascination with the note contributed to a legacy of pain and uncertainty for the family. In the broader field of criminal investigation, the JonBenét Ramsey case and the infamous ransom note have served as a grim reminder of the complexities facing high-profile investigations. They underscore the challenges of dealing with media pressure, public perception, and the use of forensic science in solving crimes. The enigmatic ransom note remains a haunting symbol of a mystery that continues to captivate and confound.